be live. We are live here on YouTube as well. I think now we are live on YouTube as well. We are. That's great. Um, let's just jump on the Grandmaster Bánusz stream as well. Okay, I think I did it now, and we should hear from Mr. Grandmaster in a few seconds now. Um, I think. I mean, we are having a chess lesson with Grandmaster Tamás Bánusz, who is like 2600 plus FIDE with a his peak rating of I think 2650 or something like that. Um, it's the guy with the Russian accent. Yes, yes, that's me. LOL. Um, LOL. That's true. I have a Russian accent. Um, okay, so we are live here. We are live on Twitch. I hope GM Bánusz will join me soon. Um, massive low taper fade. Yes, of course. Um, I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. Just 1 second. We should be with GM in few moments. Okay. It's so clean. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm talking about the GM. Yes, that's also true, I guess. Um, yo, Elite Tech. Yo, yo. How you doing? Hello. Hello, you guys. Hello. Um, yo, Elite Tech watching on YouTube. Hello, hello. Hello. Um, I am currently waiting for GM to join me to have a live lesson with me. So we are there. Yo. Yes, I do. I am. Yes. Yes, yes, no problem. Yes, of course. Okay, I am right there, I think. I can see the moves. I can. Yes, I can. That's bad. Um, Hold on. That's a good question indeed. But I mean, I only see the first 13 moves, so I guess I don't scroll down and I don't see the rest. I mean, yes, I don't. Yes, I see the move. Okay. Yes, I do. I do. Okay, great. Yes, lol. Okay, 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 yes. So if you are defending against the isolated pawns, you wanna block them. You don't want to allow them to push forward. You also wanna trade down into an endgame because then the pawn would be even more weak than it is in the middle game. So I think that's pretty basic stuff. Yes, they favor the side defending against the isolated pawn usually, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Um, I think trading the dark squared bishops would be fine for white. Although in this particular game or in like in this game. in front of the pawn. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. 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 Yes, of course. So actually I don't really like isolated pawns, but okay. Um yes, I wanna okay, okay. But I wanna get the knight to e5. I mean, maybe play f4, some rook lifts, rook f3. I wanna attack black's king there. Yes. 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 Okay. Yes. Yes. So, so you wanna evaluate trading the pieces down, um, improve your pieces, I think, also, and stop your opponent's plans. Uh, um, Actually, I need to write this down because I always forget these ideas. Yes, of course, logical. Yes, of course. Um, yes. So as you mentioned, then trading the dark squared bishops should be one of my goals, I guess. Um, Also, then probably trading one pair of knights wouldn't be that bad for me, I think. Yes, but do we need that much support over d4? Okay. 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 Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes, of course. Yes. Yes. Not really. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Logical. Yes. Of course. Yeah. So yes. So yes, of course. Um, we have the open C file, so I guess doubling up on the C file makes some sense. Um, like rook C2, rook C1. Yes. Yes. Okay. Logical. And now rook C1, right? Okay. Of course. Yes, that's correct. Um. Okay. No spaces. Bishop c7. Okay. So then I think I might have an idea, but I mean, to play queen e1 and queen c1. But it's slightly slow. I mean, just queen d7, I guess. Yes. Yes. Okay. 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 Okay.
So whenever, for example, now, we can't really say you can improve more pieces, right? Because
Yes.
this knight cannot be improved. It has to protect d4. This d4 knight is like, I mean, this is our ultimate piece. F4 bishop, hardly think so. Queens and rooks, yeah, but you can't really improve your rook. You can't really improve your queen. What can you do? You can make potential trades, or you can change the pawn structure. Trading pieces not easy, because the only piece at the moment you can trade is knight takes c6. You don't want to do that.
Yes, of course.
So maybe pawn structure.
Okay, so is my idea to push a5 to prepare a5 or?
Come again?
I'm saying if my idea is to prepare the pawn push on the queen side, a4 and then
Yeah.
a5 in the future, but it's not that simple. I mean, I guess it is. Just push a4 and move the queen and play b4.
Or you can just simply push a5 and bishop a5, queen b7.
Logical.
And that trade also probably favors you.
Yes, of course.
Because if this pawn disappears, what do you have left? C6 square. So all of a sudden you have access to this square, and all of a sudden you have access to this trade from if the
Yes.
queen is on b7, right? So all of a sudden you have access to a lot of things. So yeah, this is exactly what happened.
Wow.
This is exactly what happened, and Karpov played a4 because whenever you cannot improve pieces anymore, or they are not worth you cannot to get improved pieces. This is where you can use the other elements of 3+1 rule.
Yes.
So this is exactly happened. So now we are looking for, this is basically like an indirect way of improving your pieces, right? Because after this trade happens, all of a sudden your pieces are getting improved without even moving them anywhere.
Yes.
Because you just change the pawn structure, and changing the pawn structure, eliminate one pawn. It can be very important because then all of a sudden your knight has access to c6 square, and you actually improved your queen to b7, and by that you can make potential trades. So this a4 move, a4 a5 plan this is like an ultimate multifunction plan. And now here comes the point. Of my previous statement that we will go back to the original position. And now Bayavsky missed a very, very important defense, which was bishop c8. He should have played bishop c8. Such an ugly move, I know. Like retreating a piece from the original square where it came from, and not even mentioning that it's not protecting d5 anymore. It's an ugly looking move. Yeah, but protecting b7 was key.
Yes.
Simply, it was way more important than putting your bishop back to like a very defensive square. Losing the control over the d5 pawn, but b7 overall. This pawn was so important. And he played rook e8. Which seems like a very, very useful move, because whenever a5, bishop a5, queen b7 happens, he might has rook e7. A defense sometimes. So the rook can join to the defense from the e file. So this is what did I say? We'll go back to the original position, and this is why probably a4 was better here. This is why engine suggests a4. Rook c2 was the engine's second move. A4 was probably the best according to engine. Why? Because you want to do this exact same thing, but in case if he goes the bishop back, what do we have here? So all of a sudden, it's exactly the same position, but the rook got stuck on a8. But in this case, he cannot really stop a5, bishop a5, queen b7. The trade we really want, right?
Okay.
So that's why a4 was. But of course, these little details are so difficult to spot during a game. These small nuances, small differences. It's like even for Karpov was so difficult. So Black missed a very important defense with bishop c8, and he played rook e8. What do we do now? And now, yeah, okay. This plan, what Karpov did here was probably the most difficult move of the game.
So it's not a5.
If it's not, What makes you think? What makes you think that?
I mean, that's an obvious move, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
He had some nice looking plans here, and he couldn't really go wrong in terms of like not losing, the advantage. The question is how much chance you wanna give your opponent, and um, yeah, this I mean in this decision making, like keeping the tension, keeping the pressure on your opponent. I mean, Karpov was extraordinary in that. Like always finding the most um, annoying continuation, and just giving his opponent task to solve. And yeah, of course, if you give your opponent like easy moves, eventually they will find them. But if you give him um, um, decisions where like you have to choose between a lot of moves. If you give him like only moves, then obviously he
Yes, of
will he will
course.
find those, right? So sometimes not the most obvious moves leads to even if it's probably objective best. But if your opponent has like easy moves, um, then even if you have like a decent advantage, he will find those moves and he will get confident. But if you try to keep the pressure, it's always more annoying.
So I have an idea. If we
Yeah.
still wanna trade the dark square bishops, we can play knight b5 and then bishop c7.
Hmm.
And I mean,
If you go knight b5, probably he goes rook e7. This was main point. One of the main point of rook e8
oh,
move.
okay.
He just joins the party from e7, and potentially it can also go to d7, but he probably doesn't want to run into knight e5. So he will just keep it on e7, and just checking on the seventh rank. Someone said in the chat, King f1, asking Black to move. I mean, that's super 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 deep. What if he goes King h8, King h7? I mean, we didn't get closer.
Wow.
We didn't really improve our position. That's like super super deep, but we did something else. So if we give Black time to play Rook e7, time really matters here. So it's not a position anymore where we can freely maneuver our pieces. We can do, but we might lose some. We might waste some important time and also important chances. What we will not have access to later, because Black can fix his position. He can protect some potential weaknesses we can target right away. So time matters now.
Okay.
And we could also see this element, this type of thinking in, if I'm not mistaken, in Fischer. Was it Fischer Petrosian
I
or
have no
Fischer
idea.
Taimanov? I think it was Fischer Petrosian game. Very 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 famous game. And we could see this kind of paradox there. Who's Forky Chess? He's a streamer. He just started streaming recently. By the way, now that I'm checking, knight b5 might met with a5, and queen a7, queen a7, queen a3, queen d7. In case of knight e5, he just goes back, and nothing really happened. And no
Okay.
bishop c7. You don't have access to that. In case of knight fd4, let's say, he goes rook c8. The problem is you couldn't go bishop c7. This would be amazing to exchanging the darks or bishops, but the problem is he goes rook c8, and he might win the game. I mean, maybe not winning the game, but you might have knight e5. But I mean, queen e8. This is an annoying pin,
Yes.
So he sometimes he has this a5 resource as well. Guys, the reason I'm not asking like answering potential moves and plans, because I don't want to confuse Forky. All right, so this is like a live lesson. So mainly I'm focusing on him, but we can discuss some things after. So basically, what Karpov did here, okay, I might not say this because it would be a huge spoiler. First of all, the first question you have to make: what happens after a5? So, what is the reason why we either reject a5 or either go for it? What would you what did you calculate there? Let's say you go a5. What's going on here?
Bishop a5, queen b7.
Yeah.
Rook e7, of course.
Maybe not rook e7. Actually,
Yet.
black also has queen b6, and maybe this is even more annoying because now you can't really avoid
Yes.
trading off the queens. And what did I say about the trades? Sometimes it favors you, sometimes it don't. I mean, in terms of heavy pieces, trading all the heavy pieces down definitely favors the defending side. You still have one rook, but the problem is your rook has no targets because both of these pawns are well protected. And the problem is if you want to play bishop c7, he can go rook c8, bishop b6, rook c2, knight c2, a b6. Obviously you are better here. But you just traded off too many pieces. And of course, your knights are looking so amazing against these two minor pieces. But the problem is the king will get here, and you just simply don't have enough pieces left on the board to play with. You can't really create more targets. And with one potential weakness, black can live with that. If you could create another weakness, then that's different. In like a minor piece endgame, creating two weaknesses, most of the cases can win the game. But if he has only one weakness, it's never enough. It's never enough, especially if you cannot over attack it. I mean,
yes.
Black is just living his best life. I mean, if everyone would get this type of endgames out of isolated pawns in terms of defending mindset, everyone would go for isolated pawns. Yeah. This is obviously Karpov would still play on, but I mean probably the game will end up a draw. So that was a problem of a5. Obviously, a5 will be the key to our success. Something is missing. I love this game because it has everything in terms of positional chess. We owe everyone in the chat. Welcome, guys. Someone mentioned Queen E1. Actually, Queen E1 is an interesting move with the idea of B4 and Queen C1. The problem is, I think Black just goes Queen D7, right?
Probably,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. And let's say A5. He can even take here, maybe Knight D4 and Rook C8. And the problem again is he could consolidate the position. You have a superior knight. That's awesome. But again, we are trading pieces down, which probably it doesn't favor our position. Chess pawn, he goes after Queen takes B7. He goes Queen B6, not Queen A8. This is what I showed.
What about if I play Knight B3? Preparing A5? And if he plays A5...
Knight B3 is a very logical move, indeed. That's a very logical move. I think he can go A5 still. Problem is Queen B7 would be amazing, but I'm not so sure if he can go Bishop D7 now. And if you take D5, he takes A4. All of a sudden, this pin is getting okay. Now the bishop pair is
much better,
very much alive, and all of a sudden from this pawn from E6, we just created a monster. So this is probably not what. And of course, if you play Queen A3, that's not the same position again. I think now he can go Queen D7. This is what this is something. Sorry, Queen D7. Sorry, maybe he goes Bishop F5. Maybe he can free his bishop now because there is zero tension on d5. And that's a knight d4. Maybe he can go bishop h7.
Okay.
I don't know. And all of a sudden, your queen is a little bit weird. He has some nice e5, knight d3 ideas. Now the bishop is actually quite strong. But knight b3, I really like the idea of whoops, I showed you the move. No way, bro! I didn't want to show you the move. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's my bad. I accidentally pushed the forward button.
Yes.
Yeah, it's knight takes c6. It's knight takes c6. Yeah. Why would we make that move? Why would we make knight takes c6? Actually, what I wanted to show you is I really like the idea of knight b3 just to push a5, but the problem is it's not that great. Why would you make this move? Like This is basically against every single principle we know, right?
Yes.
This is against every single principle. Why would you make such move like that? You usually have only one good reason for that. What's that?
I mean, probably to open up the 7th rank or something. I mean, if he takes with the F pawn.
Yeah. I mean, he probably has to take with f pawn, right?
Okay.
Because in case of rook takes c6, a5, bishop a5, queen b7, all of a sudden, queen
Yes,
b6,
this is-
he doesn't have accept because d5 is hanging, and you are
Yes.
threatening rook c8. So your rook c8 and queen takes a7, everything is threatening in the same time.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, this is the paradox I mentioned. This is the paradox I mentioned. Just like in that guys, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. It was what's that? It was Fischer Petrosian, right? Fischer Petrosian, the same exact knight takes c6. So by this knight takes c6, it's such a paradox, right? Because your piece is so much better than the piece you want to trade it off. So why
Yes.
on earth would you make the trade? Because it improves your position. That's the paradox. That's the paradox in here. And in this case, it's not only like that your is actually improving your position. We will see why. We have to have like a very good reason for that. But this bishop is actually quite annoying in some lines. For example, if you play a5, bishop a5, queen b7, queen b6, your queen has no square, right? But if you do the same thing after knight e6, f
You
e6,
can go to
a5,
d7.
bishop
Yeah.
a5, yes, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal because all of a sudden in the 7th rank we can create huge threats. If he goes rook d8, we can go queen e7, and now he can't really chase it anymore. Wait a second, actually he can. Wait, he can play bishop b4, right? No. Sorry. We go rook c8 here, I think. Takes, king h7 and bishop e5.
Okay,
And he
this
has to
makes a
protect
lot of sense,
e6 with the
yes.
queen, and then queen d7, and then look at that. So that's such a paradox, right? So we're trading down such a bad piece on e6 for our like probably our strongest piece in the position.
Yes.
But in the same time, because forced lines comes after. So we have something immediate comes right after. We need something. If you just play, let's say, bishop h2, of course you will not take. You need to have a very good reason to take that bishop, which means probably something immediate is your follow up. So this is exactly what happened. a5, bishop a5, queen b7, and of course queen b6. This is what I showed. This cannot happen. So Bayevsky played bishop b6. Of course, he retreats the bishop to b6, protecting a7. The bishop was not doing anything on a5. What now? So in order to avoid trading off the queens, we needed this trade. So it's clear that we are not playing for the structure anymore, against the structure. We are playing for activity here. So our strategy just changed a little bit.
So probably we need to stop rook e7. I mean, it looks pretty dangerous.
How can you do that? We can't really stop rook e7. It's
Yes,
most
but
likely it's going to happen.
I guess we can play knight e5. And
Yeah,
if rook is
95. No, this is exactly what happened. Someone
because
mentioned queen c7. I think he just goes rook queen d7, right? He pins the queen, and the next move he will go rook c8, and he. Wait a second. Maybe there is 95
knight
now.
e5. But you can also play queen c8, right?
Also queen c8. Yeah. Even maybe rook e7. I'm not so sure if it
Whew.
works. A little bit. No, there is queen takes b6. No, it's
Wow.
not working. It's queen b6. Yeah, probably just queen c8. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And with queen c6 now. Maybe he takes, and rook b8. Again, we traded the queens down. We give him some chance here, right? So this is exactly what we are trying to avoid. He played knight e5. I was thinking because Bayevsky played knight d6. I was thinking what's happening after rook e7,
Just queen
and I
e6.
just realized just queen a6.
Yes.
And queen d6 is always running into knight g6, right? Hitting the queen and the rook in the same time. So he can't really come out that way. In case of rook c7, he's losing material again, hitting the queen and hitting the rook. So yeah, this is why knight d6 happened. Obviously, queen c6, rook e7. And seems like okay, he's going to get rook c7. Seems like we kind of screwed this up, but this was not true.
Oh. No. Doesn't work.
You if you are looking for something concrete, nothing is working. So this is still not time for you punish black. You just have to find a plan. You have to be a little bit prophylactic here, because rook c7 is coming, and you can't really stop that, but if that trade will happen, you can get the like the most value out of it. I mean, of course, you can avoid the trade if they bring the queens to a4 rook c7 and you move the rook somewhere. But why would you give up on the c file?
Yes, of course.
It's already not worth it. So that trade, you can also play knight c6 after queen a4 rook c7, but he just goes queen d7. And again, there is something after that trade. There is something you can do. If you could make some trades potentially, what would be it?
I mean, do I wanna make trades? I'm attacking, right?
Yeah, but if the trades are on like necessary, because sometimes in order to until the queens are remains on the board, black's king is always going to be a little bit weak, because thanks to this knight takes c6 maneuver, because they're full of light squares. Black is missing the light square bishop. So those light squares cannot be covered by his bishop, which
Yes.
means this bishop gives basically
Okay.
zero extra hand in terms of protecting his king.
So I wanna trade the dark square bishop for the knight. Right?
Yeah, maybe. So maybe, yeah, maybe. Sometimes you only need like a queen and the knight to just make trouble.
Okay, what if I play knight g4 or
It goes rook c7, right?
yes, queen f4?
Takes, and he probably plays knight f7, or maybe you have queen g6 holding a sec, or he goes
Knight
e4 there. So rook c7, queen a4, bam, bam. And yeah, knight f7, knight f7 is not good. Knight f7 is not good because of queen g6.
Yes.
You are hitting a6 and hitting e6 in the same time. I cannot do that. But I can probably go knight e4, maybe.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, it still looks better. Still looks better. I also like knight g4. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, probably I have to move the knight, otherwise I cannot take. I mean, I cannot threaten to exchange the pieces.
Eventually, yeah. Ultimately, you have to move the knight, but which moment? That's key. That's key. Porca Diale is close. It's close to the solution.
Oh, what if I move my queen, let's say to a4?
Yeah.
And then knight c6?
Yeah. He goes rook c7.
Yes.
Knight c6. Queen d7.
And probably I take? Although I'm
Queen
pinned and I
d6.
don't like that.
You're a little bit stuck.
Yes.
A little bit stuck there. But that's close. That's close. Queen a4 happened. Queen a4 happened. Now knight d6 is a huge threat. Hitting
Yes,
the
of
queen
course.
and the rook. He has to go rook c7. And now what? Here comes Karpov. And he You said that you really you want trades. Here you are. You think it gets closer. It
Oh,
gets you closer to the draw. No,
I
it's not.
I think it might be rook c6. Or although, am I really threatening something? Probably not.
What if? Yeah, probably not. He might can play queen e8,
Oh, this
and
as well.
know,
Whew.
yeah, maybe. If you guys trade it all down, then we just lose, the initiative of his weak king, because this is our only advantage. The fact that he has like 3 pawn islands versus 2, especially if we are trading all the heavy pieces down, it just fades away. That advantage basically doesn't exist anymore. His king is just super close, to the queen side, to the center as well. We need at least one heavy piece, potentially the queen. So queens we are never trading in these cases. So whenever your opponent king is potentially weak, he has some weak potential weaknesses. We never trade the queens down unless it's like super. Unless you are converting your advantage to winning material, and by that you win the game. You never trade the queens down. Rooks, all right, that's still fine. Never the queens.
Okay, so
Never the
I
queens.
I think you have to take the rook because you have to take with the queen, otherwise a7 is hanging, and then I just move the knight somewhere. And you're pinned and I take you.
Yeah, that's it. Karpov just took on c7, queen c7, knight d3. And do you guys, what do we have here? Other than just pawns. These pawns are weak. Why? Because black has a darker bishop. So what do we do again? We just eliminate the very piece which can not only like give extra hand protecting his king, but protecting these guys. So all of a sudden, the queen and the knight will attack these guys. The bishop will not be able to protect, and these pawns are super vulnerable from now on, especially after this trade. So again, did you guys hear ever this principle that queen and knight together is like, especially with against a weak king and against weaknesses, is like super strong, especially against queen and bishop. So until the queen remains on the board, this position, black will never be safe. Takes the knight f4. These guys are also queen e8 check. These guys are super weak. So we have threats now. He played queen e7. Of course, we took. Takes. Queen e8 check. King h7 and knight f4. Look what we have here. Again, this bishop will never protect these guys, and these guys might fall at some point. And now, Bayavsky missed his very last chance to survive. In order to survive, he should have played d4. d4 was his only chance, but it was like impossible to see. And queen g6, king g8, knight takes e6, queen e7, knight takes d4, bishop d4, d4, and queen e2. And here, black still has some drawing chances, even though we are 2 pawns up. Because if he gets this guy, or this guy, he will get closer to the draw. He could win this pawn, obviously, but I mean, until we have this pawn is the least important. These 2 pawns are more important. This is probably winning. But I mean, after queen e2, it's hard to protect both. This was still like not. I'm not saying it was a draw, but it was close to it. And the problem is if we take with pawn, he just takes d4, and knight d4, queen e1 check, king h2, queen e5, and again, once we trade these off, queen versus queen, 3+2 in one side, it's just a draw. You can't really win that. People want that. You can still play on, but I mean objectively it's a draw. So d4 was probably the only move, but it was like move 32. So probably Bayevsky was in a massive time trouble already. Yes. Yeah, and he played e5. He played e5, and now just finish the game off. Finish the game off. It's your turn.
Probably just 96, right?
Yeah, 96. And now knight f8 is also threatening. Bishop c5. You don't need to do magic here. It's the game that the position is just winning itself.
Maybe just queen f7, queen e7,
and then
queen f5.
Queen f5 and take e5. That's it. And black just resigned here. Bayevsky resigned because against Karpov there is no way you will survive. And by losing e5, you will probably lose d5 as well. Again, this was key. This was this decision. This queen a4, knight d3 was one of the most difficult decisions. It was. I don't think it was that difficult because queen and knight is just super strong. And again, especially against a weak king and these potential weaknesses. But the most, I mean, this knight takes c6. This knight takes
this is insane.
Was like, Jesus. Your homework is going to be checking that search for that game. Fischer, it was either Fischer, Petrosian, or Taimanov. I'm actually not sure. It was either Taimanov or Petrosian, but I think it was Petrosian. This knight takes c6 move. It was the same paradox. This is, I mean, that was back in the. I think it was like maybe World Candidates or some very important tournament. And in the commentary room, they described that move like what the hell. And this is that was the first time they said it's like it's like very paradoxical, right? Because you just eliminate your best looking piece against the worst looking piece ever. But in the same time, you are by that you are improving your position. How is this possible? Because something forced, something immediate comes after. So you have to have a very good reason for that. And your good reason is that d7 square. So after f6, a5 takes bishop b, queen b6, you have this square. It's I mean, how you figured this out is first you realize that after queen b6, I'm sorry. So a5, bishop a5, queen b7, queen b6, your queen has no square in order to avoiding trading these off. So how do you come to the conclusion to actually take on e6? You need d7 square. So from this logic, if you see this line, you can easily figure this out. And sometimes force lines, calculation, and everything, like what we could see about this knight takes c6 overrides the principles. So the principles are very good; they are very, very useful, but there are a lot of exceptions. This was a pretty good one. This was a pretty good one. All right, Forky. Hope you liked it.
I did.
And yeah, and actually, it feels like we will always have time for one game. each
Yes.
week, because these games are very, very complex, with a
course.
lot of positional decisions, a lot of elements of a lot of ways to
Yes.
to use a 3+1 rule. So next time we will check on that Karpov Korshner game,
Okay.
which is about the other very, very important pawn structure topic is hanging pawns.
Okay.
All right. So
Great.
have a good stream.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good stream, and see you
I-
next week the same
Yes.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello from OT3. Sorry I didn't reply to you. Bye, Forkis. So yes, sorry I didn't reply, but now I